Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? How are we doing today? Welcome to another beautiful, beautiful, beautiful stream. It is Monday, March 10th, 2025. I am sending you all the love, all of the great energy, all of that spirit bomb energy. Hope you guys are doing well. Happy to have you here today. Today we are going to have a fun one. We have the Record of Ragnarok randomizer tournament. And long story short, it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to take all of the characters that we have so far. And what we are going to do is we are just going to fucking see who would win if the matchups ended up any differently. So I think that could be a lot of fun. What up, Tenro? What up, Senna? What up, Space? What up, Boku as well? So Adam takes it. Adam versus Adam. Yeah, so obviously I've already seen a lot of comments, a lot of chats, people saying that Adam is gonna, knock out anybody that he goes up against, and we're just gonna have to see. Adam is definitely a really big contender for the human team. Zeus is a huge contender for the gods team. There's a lot of characters that may interact as like hard counters to other characters that they didn't even realize were possible. Like, imagine someone like Kojiro going up against someone like Hades, whereas Poseidon was someone who focused on their speed, on their multiple amount of attacks that they were able to get out all at once, whereas Hades focused a lot more on just direct thrust play. Like, it would literally be insane to see Kojiro, who's able to just imagine everything that Hades is going to be able to do, and then Kojiro is just able to, react and just play that much faster and more swift than Hades. We've also got people like Nikola Tesla, who, based off of my last stream, a lot of people think were robbed from the Beelzebub win. So I'm curious to see if there's any gods that he would have a much better time going up against. But we're gonna give it a couple minutes. We'll let everybody pop in as per usual. Adam versus Jack the Ripper. So we're not gonna have do you want to have it just humans up against humans, or would you rather have it humans up against gods? You know what we can do? We can maybe do a big randomizer tournament. What do you guys think? We'll do a poll. We'll start it early. I put it to a poll. So we got the battle swap rules. We've got everyone in the pool, and then we've got humans versus gods, just different matches. We'll put it up to democratic vote. I didn't even expect that that's what you guys would have wanted. Maybe, you know what? Honestly, this is why I've got you guys. Qin Shi Huang low diffs everyone because he's hot. Listen, if this was dressed to impress, he'd get the highest numbers for sure. We can rest assured of that. All I'm saying is if we do everybody, we might not be able to go through the entire list. We'll see how long it takes. But we've got 6 votes in right now. Everyone's in the pool for 100%, which is kind of crazy. Honestly, kind of crazy. Seven votes at 100%. Damn. Even though not everyone has voted, which I highly recommend get your vote in now. There's 16 people in here. I know we got some votes popping in. We got 8, all 7, 9. Yo, we've almost... Oh, okay. Humans versus gods, just different matches. Okay, it was almost resounding. 11 votes. Everyone's in the pool. All right. What up, Mario Buzzers? Can we say Odin in this? Unfortunately, not yet. We haven't seen everything Odin can do. Same with, I have Loki and Simo held out of the wheels. It's only just the 20 fighters that we've seen go ahead. We have seen a little bit of what Loki can do and a little bit of what Odin can do, but I just want to hold off on that. I've not seen the series, so it'll be wild. Oh, the series is one of the greatest. I highly, highly recommend it. It's only 100 chapters right now, 99 specifically. And on top of that, I think the anime is up to Fight 6. So apparently this second season of the anime is pretty decent. I haven't watched it yet, but... Yeah, Wukong's in the secondary series. All right, so we got 13 votes. Everyone's in the pool. All right, so that's fine then. You know what? Then we'll just do one big fucking wheel. That's fine. I'm done waiting for the poll. We have decided. If that's the case, let me just steal all of these names. We'll get rid of this. And we'll just do one big giant wheel, shall we? Boom. You guys have forced my hand. You just remember that you guys made me do this, all right? You are the ones that asked for this. You are the ones that asked for this to happen. All right, so we'll put the wheel over here. And then when I have the pictures, I'll just put them side to side here. All right. Actually, you know, we'll move the wheel right into the middle here. Whoa. No, that's what I'm trying to avoid. Get these crazy ads off my screen. Thank you. There we go. And just put them put it like right here. Put it like right in the middle here. Nope. There we go. What up, China? How we doing? It's on Netflix. I highly recommend checking it out. It's just a fun little series. I don't know if you like it or not. I mean, one thing I think, you know what I was thinking, that I think you'd probably really like Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling is basically like if, you know, the main character was Toji. I feel like you'd love it. What up, number one fan? How we doing? Thank you so much for showing up. Appreciate you always. What about Ron Prometheus? I haven't seen the spin-off series, so I'm not going to include any of the second tier gods. Need to hear Buddha's dub voice. I normally watch in sub, but but let's not waste any more time, right, guys? We pulled it up to 10 minutes. Everyone hit that like button if you have not already. It really helps the stream way more than you know. And we have now changed the rules to now include everyone. So it's just going to be one big giant fucking masterpiece. I haven't read Gantz, no, but I've heard really good things about it. There's a spin-off of Gantz that takes place during the Edo period. That is actually kind of an insane thing to find out. Holy crap. Zeus versus Buddha x Susanoo. Maybe we'll do like 2v2s another time. That actually would be really fucking fun. That'd actually be really fucking fun. All right. Let's spin this wheel, guys. Let's spin this wheel. And actually, let me get my Google Images open so that way I can pull up PNGs. Who's going to be the first character on this list, guys? Oh my god, Adam right off the bat. No way. Literally Adam right off the bat. How did we call it? All right. So Adam is fighter number 1. Let us see who is his challenger. Human or god? Who can beat Adam? Is Adam just gonna cook any fucking opponent that he gets? Is it a low diff? Oh, interesting. Jack the Ripper. Jack versus Adam. Does Adam just cook Jack, or does Jack actually have like a decent chance because of his trickster nature? I don't think this would be a low diff of all fucking all things considered. Would this be? Maybe you guys can convince me otherwise. China, thank you for the 5 gifted. I sincerely appreciate this, the love and support as always. Thank you, girl. Thank you. Let me put the alert box on top of everything. Jack's blocking me. Adam versus Jack, I just feel like Adam would win low diff. What could Jack even do against him? Adam can only copy a god's ability. So Adam should be has eyes of the Lord, right? Obviously, that's why Adam was so strong against Zeus, which eyes of the Lord specifically allows Adam to essentially copy the moves that are in front of him directly. Now, I see someone in chat saying it can only be used against the gods. I'm actually fact-checking that right now. A man designed to be a copy of God was gifted with the ability to perfectly emulate any move he saw, regardless of its speed and power. No, it doesn't seem like it is specifically against gods. It says even if they are the gods' technique. So he literally just copies whatever he sees. I mean, the thing with Jack is Jack's Voland is literally the ability to turn whatever he touches into a weapon. And we know how Jack plays, right? Jack plays dirty. Jack plays interesting. Jack literally was able to prolong a fight with Hercules long enough that he was able to get a W by tricking him into thinking he lost, and then turning his own blood into a weapon and then puncturing Adam. I think Adam definitely has the higher power here. The only issue is that, sure, Adam can copy moves and things that he sees, but Jack is going to be able to turn whatever he touches into a weapon. So let's say that Jack turns a spear into a weapon, and Adam somehow grabs like a spear as well, right? Like they're in a battlefield with a spear. Sure, Adam is going to be able to replicate every single move that Jack uses to a higher degree, but Jack's spear is going to be a divine weapon, whereas Adam's fucking spear is not going to be. Adam's divine weapon is his knuckles, right? The bronze knuckles that he gets. Whereas, again, Jack can turn whatever he needs to into a weapon. So Jack actually, believe it or not, does have the power advantage, in my honest opinion, because Eyes of the Lord doesn't really work that well against someone that can just turn whatever he touches into a weapon, right? Does he get London? So, like, we could definitely do different ideas. I mean, obviously, Jack could get London. If Jack is in London, he has the advantage. If Jack is in the battlefield of just Zeus and Adam, he doesn't really have much that he's able to turn into a weapon, in which case, yeah, Adam would probably just low diff him in a fucking boxing match. Because what the hell is Jack going to be able to do in close quarters combat against Adam? Jack's only victory condition is if he's in like a London setting, and even that is like, again, questionable. So I think, yeah, you're right. I think Adam probably has the advantage 110%. I just don't think Jack would get cooked as easily as we think. I think Jack's intelligence does give him a very high chance of at least making it like not a low diff fight. But again, I think the environment really, really does depend. We'll put it to a vote, even though I probably know who's gonna win this based off of the chat. But we still, democracy has a chance. Let Jack the Ripper see what kind of shooters he's got. Jack may try to take a punch to set Adam up, but he isn't making it out from that punch. Yeah, 1 or 2 punches and Jack is done. Yeah, Adam might be a lot faster than Jack is a really good point too, based off of him being able to combat with Zeus. But again, he was only able to reach that level by copying Zeus's strength, right? I guess then we're getting into very high level debates of like, was Adam always that strong going into the fight, or did he get as that strong just by copying Zeus? Adam's Voland would have been whatever weapon the god was fighting him with. I don't know. I mean, I guess you could say that. I don't know. I don't really have anything to counter argue that, but I don't really know if there's anything that also directly confirms that. But they do both have the special eyes. Adam would be absolutely golden through Jack's eyes. True. Honestly, Jack would probably let himself die to Adam, because Adam would just be like perfect, the perfect color, like the same color as his mother. Adam matches his opponent's skill level. That's a really good point, Loud. That's kind of what I mean. But either way, Adam would always be 1 step ahead of Jack the Ripper. And Jack the Ripper doesn't have some kind of crazy Adamus form. Or is that what it's called? Or adamantine form? Whatever the fuck Zeus's crazy fucking form is called. Eyes copied Zeus' ability, so I would guess it's partly physical. Yeah. Get your votes in. Get your votes in. Gonna leave it to 30 more seconds to put the votes in. 30 more seconds. What up, Dion? How we doing? I love seeing these Gojo badges. That's crazy. Such a long time. I can't believe it. Jack just gets the father experience he never had. Yeah, you mean the ass whipping? All right. This is one of those fights where raw power does just overcome battle IQ. Yeah, honestly, pretty much. Pretty fucking much. Well, the votes are in. Jack the Ripper gets cooked. Jack the Ripper, unfortunately, gets cooked. All right. That's 1 fight down. Jack could just zone him out. Adam's raw power comes from his copy. He's got nothing to copy. See, Professor Hope, I was kind of saying that. But again, the thing is it ultimately comes down to what the ring that they fight in looks like. Because if they fight in the same ring as Adam versus Zeus, where there's literally nothing for Jack to turn into a weapon, he's most likely cooked. Whereas in London, I can see Jack having much more of an advantage and trying to zone out Adam. But however, I can also see Adam being able to copy Jack's maneuverability, his mobility. I should probably say that's probably a better word than whatever the fuck I just made up there, and stuff like that. So I can eventually see Adam taking over Jack the Ripper in battle. But I do agree, like, him being in like London does give him a superior advantage to last longer. I think the general idea, what up, Sonny Boy, is that Adam, even amongst humans, is absurdly strong, but not as strong as Zeus, considering how much his attacks overload his nervous system. He's made directly in the image of the god, so he's essentially a reverse Hercules, a god-given mortality. Yeah, and then now we're arguing, does Adam copy stats and everything like that? I mean, either way, I think Adam would be able to surpass Jack the Ripper of all people. And I would have to imagine that eventually by copying powers like Zeus's moves, he might increase his speed a little bit, right? But either way, let's move on. Let's not get tied down on this. Adam is the winner here. Who's coming up next? Raiden Tamimon. It seems like Raiden doesn't get much love in the community. I can understand. Like I said, I didn't really like Raiden the first time I read through the series, but going through it a second time, honestly, I actually really appreciated Raiden. I think Raiden is a really cool character. I really liked it. I really liked him. I thought he was cool. But that's not what we're rating here today, folks. I'm just looking for a picture of Raiden. This might be the best one I got. Nah, you know what? I won't bother trying to find the render. It doesn't have to be a render. As long as it's just a picture of the fucking character. That's all that matters to me. If Adam is the reverse Hercules, we can call him Twerkules. All right, Tiberius. Excuse me. Oof, that's that Coca-Cola. All right. We've got Raiden. Raiden's my boy, favorite fighter. Let's go, Smiley Man. Raiden gang, on time. Let's go. The greatest sumo wrestler versus who? Is it human versus human? Human versus God? Oh no. I'm afraid it's another low diff. Ain't no way. This is just a bad matchup. An actual bad matchup. Up against my boy Beelzebub, Lord of the Flies. The worst possible god he probably could have gotten matched up with. You hate to see it. So the reason why this is such a fucking bad matchup is because Raiden, the ultimate sumo fighter, is, you know, a king. He's a goat. He's, especially with his Voland, where he's able to bring out the maximum output of his muscular strength and be able to even inflate his muscles and push all of his muscles into different parts of his body, like increasing the size of his arm into a giant gauntlet that can strike down, and into his legs. And then even when he reaches the top tier where he's able to use the Yatagarasu sumo form, everything like that. The thing is, Beelzebub is like a perfect fucking direct counter, because Beelzebub as the Lord of the Flies literally uses fucking vibrations. He just attacks through vibrations. He has the power to attack offensively through vibrations, and also the power to defend defensively with vibrations. So depending on what way he's holding his staff, right? So up against a character who relies on his flesh, his muscles, everything like that. We've already seen when Beelzebub fought Nicola, right? That even just Nicola throwing punches and hitting the vibration wall was like enough to like send reverberations and hurt him. So again, a sumo wrestler is just gonna get absolutely obliterated and torn to shreds by Beelzebub. I don't even think Beelzebub would really be pressed in this battle whatsoever. Like, Beelzebub wouldn't even have to do where Bao met Zabal fucking combination, where he like puts both hands on the skull and, you know, sacrifices a portion of his life to fucking use the chaos attack that eviscerates the entire arena. Like, I don't even think it would get to that point. Nikola Tesla was able to put up a good fight against Beelzebub because his ingenuity and his engineering and the way he was able to use his technology was able to work around all of the different vibration attacks that Beelzebub was able to use. But it's just unfortunate, again, because Raiden literally is just a sumo wrestler with very powerful muscles and can just move his muscles around his body for extra attack power. He is just gonna get absolutely cooked by a character that uses vibrations. There's nothing that Raiden can do. I can't even talk about this any longer than this fight, because it is just an absolutely another low diff. I am sorry, Raiden Tommymon gang, we have failed completely. I will say though, thank you Loud for the 5 gifted members. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. Thank you Loud. Actually Loud, while I have you here, I'm probably gonna I have it set in my thing. I'm probably gonna be able to write your thing by this weekend. Maybe next week. Hopefully this weekend, but I should have it to you very soon. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, I can't even give my boy any slack with that fight. Like with Jack and Adam, it was like, hey, look, Jack's intelligence could probably give him some level of like not dying instantly. Like Raiden is just cooked. It's just cooked, dude. Beelzebub's like one of the top 5. Beelzebub's up there, bro. Matchups like this is why Brunhild made specific matchups for certain fighters 110%. This is why Brunhild was selecting, you know, the perfect candidate for every battle against the god, or at least the best candidate she could come up with. Like, damn. That was just sad, man. RIP, right? So I guess we can do a poll. We'll do a poll, but just for the sake of democracy. But I think it's clear who wins here. Not including the spinoff, then completely different story. If Raiden could get past his shield and not get one shot by Beez's defense, he only has to hit him once to do serious damage. I'm on copy him. The one thing I will say is that Beelzebub was shown to have insane durability just by the mere fact that he's able to survive not only all of Tesla's insane attacks, but he's also able to, which I would imagine Raiden might be able to produce a little bit more attack power, striking strength than that directly. Neither we could argue, but either way, if Beelzebub just being able to survive his Chaos Blast, like basically like Vegeta Final Explosion attack alone proves that he's pretty fucking durable. He can take a huge fucking hit. And the thing is Raiden being a sumo wrestler, and also with his massive muscles, his speed is definitely not his strong suit. Which is the worst part too. Yeah, I mean, we've got 18 votes on the board. Hear me out. He hurls insult and maxes out Beelzebub's depression meter. He can only hope. He could only hope. But I think if Beelzebub could take himself out, I don't think he'd be here in the Ragnarok tournament. Since you do a JJK versus insert series, would you do a JJK versus Record of Ragnarok Gods? I don't know how far JJK would make it in Record of Ragnarok. They might have a couple problems going up against the gods. All right, 20 votes. I'm closing this poll. Beelzebub is the clear winner here, 85%. Raiden's got 15%, and a good amount of those are pity votes. We're moving on. But damn, Raiden couldn't even get a good matchup. It's a shame to see. At least with Shiva, he had a chance. That's honestly such a good fight where it goes back and forth. They both have a pretty equal amount of aura, in my honest opinion. All right, let's roll it. Next round of the randomizer Ragnarok. Lubu! We've got the boy. The fucking boy. It's time for redemption, Lubu. It's time to come back. This is your fucking time. Look at my fucking Chad. Look at this goat right here, man. We've got it. We've got it. All right. Who's my boy going up against? This is his chance to redeem himself. Will he be able to find another rival like Thor, or will they be fucking disappointed? Human fighters from ROR, they don't have their Volunders, except Raiden, who has to have his to even fight, versus JJK characters. True. Okita Soji. Now, I think this would be a decent fight. I do think Okita has the advantage, though, if we're being completely honest here. Right? Am I wrong in assuming that? I think Okita is just, he has more speed, and he's just, I feel like he would just be able to do so much more damage on such a grander scale. He's so much more fucking wild than Lubu is. It's speed versus power. Yeah. I mean, you got two berserker types, right? Like, Lubu is very chaotic in his battle, so he'd probably be able to, like, you know, do his best to try and keep up with Okita's menacing fucking attacks, but Okita with, like, the no form stance, where he doesn't even, like, give, like, a tell of where he's going to strike. The demon child transformation that Okita is able to use, although you could argue that Okita wouldn't get as strong as he does against Susanoo no Mikoto, because Susanoo no Mikoto is the only person that's able to bring out that level of power from him. But again, even without that, like, he's still a pretty fucking huge menacing foe. And like, Lubu, I think, would be able to put up a decent fight, but I think Okita has the advantage just based on fighting style. Okita has the higher battle IQ than Lubu. He'd probably outskill and speed. Yeah. The real answer for this fight, does Lubu enjoy this? Yeah, true. Lubu would definitely enjoy, like, I don't know if Lubu would find Okita's battle style fun. Like, Thor is a more of a brutish type character and much more like classical, like, putting, you know, each other's life on the line, and whoever's the stronger opponent wins. Whereas, like, Okita is the manslayer. Okita is a character that's going to do whatever he needs to come out of the battlefield alive and cut down any people he needs to, which is the reason why he adapted the no form style, right? Where he literally was able to attack and kill and you know, throw lethal blade slashes even from no stance at all, because his life was a battlefield. Lubu T-poses when he poops. Okita fighting Susanoo is basically facing Lubu, but with a greater skill. I guess that's a good point. And yeah, I mean, Susanoo was much more suited for a sword-style battle, whereas I think the sword is going to vastly overpower Lubu's spear attacks. At the end of the day, even if he can't spam it, the real question is, can Lubu land his ultimate technique on Okita? Because AIM, not sure that he's surviving that attack, at least not. And that's kind of what I mean, Slendy Boy, is like going up against Thor. Thor is an honorable opponent that it was willing to meet Lubu's Sky Eater with his own Thor's hammer attack, to again test and see who was the more powerful opponent. Halberd, not spear. I apologize, Weep Guru. Thank you. I'm sorry. Whereas Okita isn't going to do that. Okita is going to dodge Sky Eater, or worse, Okita's going to do his Tenon style, where like he like slips in and like cuts through the spear, or like, you know, deflects the attack and then goes for a lethal blow on Lubu. Like, I just think Okita has the fighting style advantage against Lubu, which is sad because I love Lubu. I love Lubu. I don't think it would be an easy fight. Lubu definitely has the kind of tenacity to at least survive. He's also got this durability to survive a decent amount of Okita's strikes. Oh, Lubu's got the better design. But yeah, I think Okita wins this one. It's not nearly as hard of a battle as it would be against Susanoo no Mikoto, and that's not any kind of insult to Lubu. It's just Susanoo no Mikoto is much more suited to handle someone like Okita than Lubu would be. Okita would go for the kill immediately, where Lubu's style makes him allow him to get that due to wanting to enjoy a fight. Exactly. And again, if Okita starts enjoying the fight and he starts using his demon child abilities, it's kind of over. Yeah, like everyone said, like Lubu has higher stats, but Okita has better speed, better battle IQ, and just much more killing intent. Peak Barbarian versus Rogue inter-party combat. When the Barbarian finally gets tired of the Rogue's BS moment. As always, we'll put it to a poll. What do we think, everybody? Who's winning this battle? I think next time it might be better to do the human side versus God side and just randomize that, because some of these battles so far have just been like, I think this might have been like, some of these are just low diffs. Oh, actually, this is actually the closest poll we've had so far. Okita 60%, Lubu 40%. Huh. I wasn't expecting that. I thought Okita had a much higher result. Lubu's winning now? What? Damn, the Lubu Nation came in strong. Oh my god. Lubu's stacking the polls. He's rigging the election. This is also the closest fight so far, but the worst part is it really isn't even that close, right? Like, I still think Okita has the clear advantage. Even if Lubu wins the poll, I definitely still think Okita would win this fight. But democracy is democracy. He might go for real, he said. Oh, damn. Okita Nation came back. Lubu's rigging that election by bribing the vote counters. He won't kill them if they miscount in his favor. This is close. Get your votes in. Get your votes in now. It's too close to call right now. It's too close to call. Okita's got the advantage. One more minute. The poll's gonna go for one more minute, everybody. There's 41 people in chat. Come on. Let me see those votes. 50 seconds left. I'd see the vision if Lubu got that strong swing off on him. I just can't imagine it hitting. Yeah, exactly, Nehemiah. That's kind of what I'm feeling too. Like like Lubu definitely has the capability of killing Okita like with his attack strength. It's just, would that attack land? Probably not. Damn, we got Lubu shooters in chat. Said the bum-ass demon child. That's wild. 10 seconds left. Get your vote in. Okita is coming in strong. Okita's about to win. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, there's no chance. It's over. All right. Okita wins. All right. Who's the next matchup? Oh, wow. Look at that. Susanoo no Mikoto. It was destiny. Yeah, literally. All right. Who's up next? Who's his opponent? Susanoo no Mikoto is a rough opponent for anybody to deal with. Against Hercules, ooh. Ooh, I fear I might think. I think Susanoo has this win. I think Susanoo might have this. I still don't know how to feel about Susanoo. I mean, he put up a really good fucking fight against Okita. He really is the fucking sword fucking god. Like, and that is what makes him so dangerous. Like, he has a perfect, like, his Shinra Ryu style, or whatever the fuck it's called. Shinra something, like, it gives him the ability to have any fucking perfect sword form at any given time. So, like, he's literally able to attack and counter literally any attack that you throw at him entirely. Like, any attack, and that's just his basic form, right? That's just his basic ability using the sword. That doesn't involve when he does the whole fucking lean back with the fucking left hand thing, and then once he catches you in the left hand, he like swipes his sword down and fucks you up. The god who abandoned his post to train the way of the sword by humans. Fucking fire. And Hercules is a really, really good opponent. I don't want to make it seem like it would be like a one-shot kill. Like, Hercules has a lot of durability. Hercules is able to take a significant amount of damage. He also has the 12 different labors that by putting strain on his life and adding, you know, to his tattoo, he's able to pull more fucking power from, and also convert his weapon into even more disastrous abilities, where he would probably be able to throw hands with Susanoo on a certain level. Like, again, the Shinra style that he uses, the swordsmanship that Susanoo has, is like insanely much more powerful than whatever fighting style that Hercules is going to use. But Hercules would struggle. Hercules wouldn't give up easily. But I just think Susanoo has the advantage here. A direct, full, complete advantage with just, again, being the sword god. Hercules just doesn't have any fucking chance with just his, again, with just his brute strength. Everything that Hercules is able to do, Susanoo would have an answer for. And again, if he needs to give a little bit more range and back up from Hercules, he has the stance for it. And we know that, now again, this is the same thing as Okita. You could argue that, would Okita ever unlock his demon child form if he didn't fight Susanoo? So you could argue whether he would have that or not. Susanoo, same thing with the unarmed blade. If he never fought Okita, Susanoo would have never unlocked that ability. But I don't even think it would ever come to that, because Susanoo would probably be able to beat Hercules without that ability. I just don't even think it would matter. Looking at the 12th labor and the Hound of Hades can prove useful. I don't know. I think Hercules would be able to survive and fight to the death. It's just Susanoo, again, just has a counter for everything. And even if Herc overpowers Susanoo has ways to get around the overpowering. This is almost similar to the fight with Okita versus Lubu, except Susanoo has the power to match. Not necessarily, you know, 12th labor Hound of Hades Hercules. Can Susanoo maybe match that kind of power? But again, Susanoo is the sword god, and he was known. His whole backstory revolves around Susanoo being able to one slice every single opponent he ever has, that he never needed to develop swordsmanship. Literally never needed to develop swordsmanship ever, and that's why he gave up his post as a god to learn swordsmanship. All he knew was the sword. So yeah, like, Susanoo also is a power type as well. So this is literally just Okita Soji, but like more traditional, more refined, and much more godly and much more, you know, base, you know, attack potency. So yeah, if Susanoo can match Herc in power, even in base form, that gives him so much more of an advantage. And then again, the technique behind Susanoo, I think it's pretty obvious, in my honest opinion. I think it's pretty obvious. But we'll put it to a poll. Let's say Hercules can break his sword. There's always the invisible blade attack. Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. I don't even think it would get to that point. And again, I think you could argue that Susanu's, again, that sword was supposed to be the perfect blade. It was manufactured by both gods and human. It was like literally a combined effort, and it was honestly surprising that Okita was able to break through it, right? So again, arguably that sword should be able to fight against Herc's club, no matter what labor he's on. Do you think this would be an honorable fight? I do think it would be an honorable fight. I think both parties are pretty serious about the whole honor thing, I feel like. Damn. We're right back to the fucking avalanche voting, aren't we, dude? You could see the difference when you don't have a fucking cult following. That Lubu Stan vote immediately went away for this one. We're right back to the fucking landslide. They both have extensive love for humanity. Yeah, exactly, King Kamui. That's such a good point. That's such a good point. They both have extensive love for humanity. If I hear that bum little child's again, I'm disliking the stream. Dislike the stream, damn it. Okita is my boy. I stand by my boy. Dislike the stream, Nudie. I dare you. What up, Jacob? Just got here, was just trying to be different. Hey, I appreciate that. Sometimes you gotta pick a side. Beelzebub superior? Hey, I like Beelzebub too. We can agree on that. Imagine how differently Danzo would have gotten if during the Danzo fight this motherfucker appeared instead of that spectral skeleton thing. Oh damn, yo, fucking so true, bro. Yeah, you want to talk about Susanoo and then fucking this guy shows up, starts fucking leaning back with his left hand. Oh boy, that's a problem. That's not good. All right, guys, 30 more seconds for the poll, but it looks like honestly Susanoo's kind of got it. I doubt it's coming back. I doubt it's coming back. I feel like Okita should have lost. I think either side had a pretty decent chance of winning. I was a much bigger Okita fan though. Much bigger Okita fan. Oh no, Nudie's gonna like the stream. I said it again. All right, yeah, pretty obvious. Susanoo's got it. It's hot. I don't know why that was so hard. I think it's because I had an audience. You guys make me nervous to take off my sweatshirt. I don't know why that was so hard. All right. We're back in the game, baby. Have we only had one human versus god fight so far? Yeah, that actually is the case space, which that means it's going to be a fucking god free-for-all in a little bit. That's all that means. It's about to be god fucking god. All right, let's go. Next fight. Oh, all right. Got the godfather of the cosmos, baby. GFOC. GFOC. I don't have the violins to play in his fucking intro, but just imagine it. Just imagine it in your head. It's already over. Zeus is one of the most powerful gods. Hey, you never know who we might get. Although, yeah, it might be, that might be it. That might be it. But you know what? You never know. Let's see who he's got. Who's he fighting? Oh no, it's over. Oh, we don't even need to speak on this. Honestly, I mean, this one is, whew. Oh no. Oh no. This is the worst possible fucking matchup that could have ever possibly been created. This is abominable. Leonidas is trash. Leonidas is embarrassing. Leonidas was honestly one of the, I think, the worst human. I know Leonidas got shooters out there. I know he's got shooters out there. But I don't care. Come for me. Leonidas is embarrassing. Leonidas with every Valkyrie though. ... They would just get blitzed by Zeus's punches. Yeah, 110%. Leonidas doesn't stand a fucking chance. Leonidas's fucking Volan shield would shatter under fucking Zeus's fucking punches. Zeus would not have to go Adamus form. Zeus would barely have to fucking try. Zeus, if Zeus did one fucking time stop punch, Leonidas is cooked. His entire head's gonna be turned around. He's decapitated. Yeah, I can't even begin to. The thing is Leonidas versus Apollo is probably my least favorite fight in the entire series. Part of the reason why is because Leonidas is a very just he doesn't have much going for him, right? He's got his little shield, it like spins, and then he's got the little fucking mace that pops out of it. And like Apollo is cooking Leonidas so badly that everybody starts talking shit about Apollo and saying that Apollo is literally like cheating because Apollo is just like fucking boxing Leonidas so fucking well. And like Leonidas then gives and then Apollo gives Leonidas the advantage, a handicap in battle. Like that's how bad Leonidas actually is. Are there any arguments you can make for Leo to win that isn't just cope? Absolutely not, Space. It's just done. Does anyone beat Zeus's time stop outside of Odin hacks? I mean, maybe Nikola Tesla with like his Tesla particles and like maybe the things he could do maybe with teleportation. You know, maybe Nikola Tesla could somehow teleport at the same speed as the time stop and like dip out. But yeah, this is just disgusting. I have not watched this fight, and I might skip it because boxing a guy with a shield is disgusting. Oh yeah, Leonidas gets embarrassed. For a guy that like talked shit to Brunhild and was like, I'm either going in first or I'm going in last. I put on a show. He was literally the most boring fucking fight. And again, his god was playing with him like he was a child toy. And like, sure, he got the one good scar on Apollo. That Apollo is willing to keep on his face for the rest of his life. But like, again, that's just good writing. That's just good storytelling. That Leonidas, yeah, it's just, yeah, that was another low diff. Embarrassing. But you know what? At least these gods, like at least the GFOC, one of the best fucking Zeus, you know, one of the best gods, was just put up against one of the worst humans. So we got a top tier and a low tier out. So that all that means is the fights going forward will probably be a little bit more equal. Not just based on the fact that most of what's left is gods, but also we've got some top tier humans. We've got Qin Shi Huang, we've got Sasaki Kojiro, and then the rest are just gods. Buddha technically, but Buddha fights for human side, but he's a god too. If Leo went in first, he probably would have done worse than Lu Bu. Yeah, 100%. Again, King Leonidas, garbage. There's not a single god that King Leonidas would have done good against. You can't convince me otherwise. Zero Fuku is here indeed. Zero Fuku is in here indeed. All right, let's get this next matchup. So let's see if we can have a real fight. Come on. Real fight, real fight. Give it to me. Okay, we've got Thor stepping in. to the ring, baby. God of Thunder. Let's go, baby. All right. Can we give Thor a good matchup? He's got a lot of good contenders on here so far. So let's see. Who's his opponent for this randomizer of Ragnarok? Up against Hades. Power versus power. Okay. Now this is actually probably very similar matchup because Hades, like Lubu, Hades uses the Bident, but Hades, like Lubu, focuses on power just like Thor does. So like this is actually very similar to the Thor and Lubu fight, like because you've got two characters that prioritize strength above all else, going head to head against each other. So this is actually a pretty decent fight. All things considered, this is actually probably the closest matchup we have had all fucking night. I'm curious to see what you guys think of it. I'm pulling up Hades a little bit to refresh myself. Just because I read that fight like a week ago. So yeah, it's all about his strength. I know that for a fact because he has his thing with his blood, right? Where he's able to add his blood to his Bident to basically make it alive and basically add to its power. Yeah, the Pluto Ichor. Any divine weapon that his blood spills upon will harbor Hades' own life force, making them more powerful in the process. Turning his Bident into an even more powerful weapon called Ichor Desmos. The thing about Hades is I have to imagine that even though Hades is similar to Thor where he relies on, you know, pure strength, Hades with the Bident is a lot more mobile than Thor with the giant hammer. Hades might have the mobility advantage in a fight like this. Someone's losing a limb for sure. Oh, I agree, 110%. Thor probably has higher AP, assuming they have equal health. Yeah, I think Thor would probably end up having the higher AP at the end result of the battle, especially if you want to consider once Mjolnir wakes up and Thor starts doing his boomerang throw into Thor's hammer. I think Thor probably generates way more actual force than Hades does. Again, the Ichor Desmos is definitely a significant, you know, power boost. And while I think Thor still puts out more power, I think the Bident awards, again, Hades a lot more mobility. Like, even a lot of Hades moves, right? Like, involve him, you know, moving and then throwing his spear downwards or shifting his body around and then, you know, throwing his Bident at the earth. You know, he swings his Bident downwards and then plants his feet firmly on the ground. And once it gets blocked, once his attack gets blocked, he straightens his left leg out and then knees in the face. So like if he can at least match Thor's power to a certain degree, Hades does have a little bit more wiggle room than Lubu does. But I think honestly, a lot of you guys are right in saying that it would probably just end up the same. Like Thor would probably end up getting the final strike, but we can all agree Thor would love fighting Hades, definitely. Thing is, if Thor throws his hammer, Hades does have a couple seconds to do damage. And again, yeah, with Ichor Eos, which Hades thrusts Desmos forward while charging at his opponents at the same time. The force of the attack was so strong it was able to break through Qin Shi Huang's almighty spalders, and so like he does produce a decent amount of power. The thing though with Ichor Desmos is that it slowly drains Hades' life force, whereas I feel like Thor with Awakened Mjolnir doesn't have that same kind of condition. So even if you want to say that they were able to match in power, Hades' body would eventually give out if he gets to Ichor Desmos. Hades, I'd say Hades has the edge in battle IQ. I'd probably agree with that. Yeah, I would definitely probably agree with that. I feel like Thor at his peak would just overpower Hades and break the Biden. Do you think Thor never fighting Hades in the past is an argument you can use for Thor winning? Well, you have to definitely remember that even though all of the gods are, you know, in this, you know, heavens in the Valhalla, like a lot of, like, Thor is Norse while, you know, Hades is Greek. So you could argue that, like, technically in their mythologies, in their proper universes and their proper religions and their proper, you know, realms, they wouldn't interact. So you could argue that's why those characters have never really fought, because again, a Greek god and a Norse god fighting could end up causing some kind of godly war. I don't know the politics of Valhalla, but what I'm saying is that might be an excuse for why you could say just because Thor never met his match. I mean, I guess you could argue technically Thor never fighting any of the gods at that point would be like, oh, well, Thor just thought he was the strongest god in Valhalla, which, like, clearly isn't the case, right? I mean, Thor was able to, at the very least, assert his, you know, presence in front of Odin, of all people. So Thor is a respectably strong fucking god. You know, keep that in mind. But again, I just, you know, I think compared to Lubu, I think Hades has a much better chance of winning. But I would probably, if I was a betting man, I'd probably put my money on Thor. But I do see Hades having chances to win. Thor is the gauntlet that can block attacks. I love when this hypothetical match gets brought up because both fighters feel even enough in stats to make either outcome feel possible. Yeah, this is definitely the closest matchup that we have gotten so far. 110% the closest matchup that we have, and we might honestly get. I feel like this fight could go either way. This is honestly the first fight that I think the poll is going to make all the difference here. Let's see it. Because there's not much to say other than that. All right, let's do it. I'm interested to see where this goes. Is it crazy to say that Hercules is the second weakest god on the list? I think Hercules is definitely lowest ranked for sure. Or not lowest ranked, one of the lowest ranked gods on the 13 chosen rosters for sure. For sure. I don't know if I would argue that he's the weakest. I would have to take a look at the roster again and really think about it, but I think overall probably Zero Fuku is probably one of the weakest, not including Heijin, right? Just Zero Fuku in general. Thor and Jormungandr had a battle that affected time. Yeah, and also in this timeline, Thor one-shot Jormungandr. So I think Thor could take this high diff. Whoever wins, it's an extreme diff battle. This is, again, the closest matchup we've gotten so far. Zero Fuku being the weakest, are we sure? I mean, without Heijin and without any of the extra, I don't know. Don't pull me into these. Don't pull me into these arguments. I haven't researched Record of Ragnarok enough to concretely, definitively say these statements and be held and put on trial against them. Again, Buddha was also taking it super easy on Zero Fuku, and Zero Fuku was also very much specifying his hatred towards Buddha, right? Like, of all opponents to have, Buddha was the worst one because most of his misery and anger went towards Buddha. Whereas, like, if, let's say, Zero Fuku went up against, like, Hades of all people, like, sure, Zero Fuku could get mad and angry and, like, hurt and damaged, but, like, he doesn't have the same kind of misery and, you know, pure rage towards someone like Hades. If Hades, like someone said, if someone can finish Zero Fuku before his misery gets more powerful than the person that's fighting him, it's possible. All right, out of 19 votes, we've got 68% Thor and 32% Hades. Damn. Hades Nation, I need you to come in and get these fucking votes in. Start voting twice. Make a second YouTube account. Hit the like button on the stream if you have the second YouTube account. It helps the channel. But guys, we've got another minute coming in on the poll. Please, please, please get your votes in if you haven't already. This is probably the most important fucking poll of the entire fucking stream. Damn, Thor shooters are coming in strong. Hades would talk no jutsu 0 like how he did Beelzebub. Maybe. 30 seconds left. It looks like Thor is coming in as the winner. Which is honestly, yeah, what I would probably say. Like, this is probably the closest matchup. I would definitely say it's literally 50-50. This fight could go either way. It really just depends on who gets the advantage of the kill shot first. But Hades would lose his ankles to block that hammer. The thing is like, you could probably argue that Hades might have a little bit more durability as the god and the king of Helheim compared to Lubu. Because again, you know, Lubu is a human using a divine weapon to compete with a god, whereas Hades would be a god fighting a god. So Hades might be able to actually withstand even Gerard Thor's hammer, but we just don't know. It's tough to say. I would put Hades' durability above Lubu, but again, this is honestly a really close fight. This is the closest fight of the stream, without doubt, the closest fight of the stream. But with the poll done, it's very clear. Thor is the winner here. This poll was one-sided. Yeah, the Thor fans came in strong. This is hard to, these are actually hard to determine since there really isn't any scaling. Yeah, again, it's kind of just really comparing their feats, actions, and just the way they fight, and just kind of, you know, it's kind of opinion based. Obviously, there are more obvious answers than others, like some of the fucking fights we had before, like obviously Adam versus let me use an easier example. Beelzebub versus Raiden Tamimon. Like, that was a very obvious, you know, obvious fucking fight. Was Kinsho or Lubu harder fight? Like, if Hades fought them? Honestly, like, if Hades fought Lubu, I honestly think Hades would beat Lubu. Because Lubu would definitely enjoy the fight, but I think unlike Thor, Hades would just have an advantage. Like Hades, again, is just, in my opinion, a better Lubu. So I really do think Hades would probably win against Lubu. Like, again, you also have to remember that Hades really only lost the fight against Qin Shi Huang because Qin Shi Huang's air bubbles weakened his Biden at the last second. Qin Shi versus Lubu. I would probably say I would probably put Qin Shi above Lubu too. Honestly, believe it or not, I would probably put Qin Shi above Lubu. What fights have you missed? You've missed a decent amount. Honestly, we're pretty thoroughly through, but I think we've had 6 rounds so far. We're going on to the 7th. VOD will always be up. VOD is definitely up for everybody, so you'll definitely be able to rewind, go back. Heavenly Handed Defense is OD. Yeah, you got that right. All right, but yeah, no, I think that was the closest match we've had so far. Let's re-roll. Round 7 of Randomizer Ragnarok. Shiva. Yo, Shiva's entrance is fire, by the way. You got to give it to him there. Shiva's entrance is fire. All right. All right, who's fighting Shiva? We've got some pretty decent fucking matchups here. I don't think there's going to be any easy diffs going forward. Nikola Tesla. Tesla solos. So, like I said, I don't think there are really any easy battles left on the wheel to choose from. Any character really seems to have a chance to beat any other character. Shiva versus Nikola Tesla is actually a reasonable battle for a couple reasons. We have seen Nikola Tesla be able to handle a god like Beelzebub, whose vibrations, his magic, his durability, his offense. Beelzebub is one of the strongest gods in Valhalla, right? Like, Beelzebub's whole fucking problem is that no one can kill him. And sure, Beelzebub won the fight against Nikola, but Beelzebub was put to the fucking brink and constantly shown that Nikola's intelligence and his ingenuity was not only able to keep up with everything that Beelzebub was able to do, analyze everything that Beelzebub did down to the core, understand how Beelzebub's powers worked, understand how he was able to do everything, and also understand how he was able to use his Tesla particles, Tesla coils, and all the different technology that he had to perfectly counter Beelzebub. So that being said, for someone like Shiva, who is much more straightforward compared to someone like Beelzebub, who's a lot more strategical, a lot more intelligence based, a lot more, you know, just know-how. Like, Nikola and Beelzebub were the perfect match because their brain powers overrided their regular base powers. It was a battle of the minds just as much as it was at the same time as a physical battle. Whereas Nikola definitely has the intelligent advantage over Shiva by far. Shiva isn't dumb. Shiva is definitely great when it comes to battle intelligence. He's good at throwing down. I mean, he was able to fight his way all the way up to the top of Sparva, and become the top reigning god. The thing is like, yeah, Teslas can determine the patterns of Shiva's fire dance and it's over. Tesla making Shiva do jump ropes over them particles. Shiva's reaction throughout the fight, the more Tesla shows more of his skills and abilities. Yeah, Shiva is just going to be constantly amazed and just unable to, like, comprehend some of the things that Tesla is able to do, right? Like, you have the Tesla step. You have Tesla basically has a domain expansion, which is fucking ridiculous. It's the whatchamacallit, the Gematria Zone, the Prison of the Gods, where he's basically able to create a giant fucking particle domain of electricity, and that generates the super Tesla particle. And once he creates the cage of electricity, he basically traps his opponent within the electricity, which stops Shiva from having movement. And on top of that, Nikola is able to reach maximum speed with the anti-gravity inside of this domain and use Tesla step, which just makes him fucking move way faster than Shiva would be able to do, even with the Tandava and everything like that. Like, sure, even if Shiva was burning himself away, dancing at Tandava maximum fucking speed, Nikola Tesla is going to be able to outspeed him and completely, like, move around him. And also, his plasma pulse jet punches are going to be significantly fucking powerful. He also has he can release electricity by putting both fists together, so he can Nikola also has a fucking, like, AoE move. And also, at the end of the day, you also have the Tesla warp, which is fucking insane. He can literally just teleport. And then Nikola has also been shown to, when it comes down to it, he's willing to take like, fucking teleport parts of his arm, parts of his limbs, parts of his bodies, and use them to trick people into attack. He can unleash an onslaught of unending punches at his opponent, which can move way faster than Shiva probably could. Shiva is fucking strong. Don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to make it sound like, oh my god, like, Nikola is just a god and is going to be able to override Shiva completely. But the problem is where Shiva is, again, just a brawler, which made him a perfect matchup against someone like Raiden. Nicola has all of these fucking abilities, again, like specifically the Gematria Zone, that he's able to just have complete fucking full advantage against Shiva in. Shiva has the War Dance. Shiva has the Tandava. He has the Kritisava and all the. I'm sorry, the Tandava Karma, where he his ultimate secret technique, where he basically transforms to a higher level. I don't think any of these things are going to be able to handle Nicola. They dance with the Tesla steps versus TDK before Shiva gets two-shot. Yeah. Tesla can just determine the pattern of the Shiva fire dance. That's kind of also what I'm saying. Tesla's just Toto, bro. No joke. Gotta send my man to college after this fight. This is a low mid diff fight, mid to high diff fight for Tesla. Get Shiva, get this god some education. Shiva does have a win con being the Tesla coils. Yeah, if Shiva is able to survive long enough until the Tesla coils fully burn out and Nicola doesn't have anything left to go off of, then Shiva can win. However, the thing is I think compared to Raiden, who again was able to, you know, match Shiva in just physicality, Nikola Tesla is not only able to match Shiva in physicality, he has all of the additional abilities, all of the additional technology, Tesla particles, and supernatural pieces that make him able to just overwhelm Shiva in speed and attack power, honestly. And he can just, and again, Nikola's intelligence is just so much higher that he'd be able to download Shiva's entire fucking dance and fight style and just counter and find a way to get around it. I just really don't. The only reason Nicola lost is because Beelzebub was able to match Nicola in intelligence, whereas Nicola will be able to defeat Shiva just by overriding him and being able to do things that Shiva can't even comprehend. A smart boxer with forearms versus a man with a robot suit that has the best battle IQ ever. Yeah, I just don't think Shiva would be able to put up a decent fight. I don't think it would be a low diff, you know, for Nicola, but it's gotta be Nicola for me. It's gotta be a Nicola Tesla win. Tesla's kind of broken. Tesla coils was literally just a way to nerf him, pretty much. Pretty fucking much. I can't even imagine Shiva pushing Tesla to use 3 warps. Who is this Tesla guy? I bet he'd build a great electricity system and it won't get stolen due to greed. Hey, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that. He's so underrated too. You hate to see it. It's true. It really is. Nikola Tesla is that OG. I think this specific matchup right here was just the perfect way to give him the needed glaze that he requires. Tesla needs that clout. Not Tesla, Elon Musk company. Nikola Tesla, the OG. The real OG. Humanity's one and only sorcerer, as Brunhild calls him. Shiva just getting angrier the longer the fight goes on? Yeah, because Nicola would fight so fucking dirty, bro. Just in a different way. It's a different kind of dirty. Nicola's a different kind of trickster. He's a different kind of trickster than Jack is, for sure. How far would Tesla get in JJK? Nikola Tesla would fucking cook Gojo, I'm sorry. Gojo would get cooked by Nikola Tesla. It's a fact. I don't know how he'd get through infinity, but he'd figure it out. Yeah, Tesla solos JJK. All of Record of Ragnarok characters solo JJK. Most likely, most of them. I don't want to say all of them, because again, infinity is a bitch. And domain expansions are crazy, certain of them. But most of Record of Ragnarok characters are cooking JJK. Cooking JJK. I'm sure, you know, you'll get the one comment, well, actually, you see, It's okay. I'm sure there's certain, it doesn't apply to everybody, but you get what I'm saying here. You get the overall point. All right, we've got most of the votes in. Everyone, you know, you got 20 more seconds to get your votes in. We got 49 viewers and only 17 votes. Everyone, god damn it, fucking put your votes in. Hit the goddamn button. Get it in here. Get your votes in. It seems like, as far as it goes, though, Nicola 89% is coming in strong. I don't see Shiva coming back here. Oh, more votes for Nicola. It's getting worse. I honestly hope you do this again for Undead Unluck Negators versus UMAs. You know, I've never read Undead Unluck, but now that it's over, there's a chance I might. We'll see. All right, but yeah, Nikola Tesla's got it in the bag. That's a W for Nikola. It's a W for Nikola. He pulls it together. Good for him. He got a W where no one else could. I'm happy for him. Tesla solos most of RRR, in my opinion. Hey, listen, I don't know if I would even argue with that. Let's get these next rolls in. We got 3 more matchups, guys. 3 more matches. What's coming in? Poseidon. Again, most of these fights should be pretty close now. We've got most of the low diffs out of the way, as far as it seems. We can hope. Poseidon's a pretty strong god. Second in command of Valhalla. Second in command of Greek Valhalla, I'm sorry. And he's, imagine we get Sasaki versus Poseidon again. That would be crazy in the swap. That would be crazy. But Poseidon's pretty fucking strong. Yeah, Mr. Stabs. He's not my favorite god, but I won't deny that he's got, you know, he's got aura, all right? He did the blood smear through his hair first. Let's remember that, guys. Oof, I fear. Oof. Yeah, I just, I don't know about this one, guys. I feel like Poseidon might just cook this guy. Zero gets cooked and then Heijin cooks back. Hajun. Hajun's the main one we need to worry about. Yeah, you've got a very good point. Yeah, about those easy matchups being over. See, the difference is with Zero Fuku, right? Again, I kind of said it earlier. Zero Fuku's ability relies on his misery, relies on his anger, relies on his resentment, and him building and carrying all of the world's burdens and problems and humanity's issues. The angrier he gets, the stronger he gets, the more his weapon grows, the more powerful he gets. You make a very good point. Space is that Poseidon looking down on Zero Fuku and insulting Zero Fuku and not giving Zero Fuku the time of day would definitely fuel Zero Fuku's flames to the fire and increase his power. The difference is where Buddha took a much more defensive stance, and Buddha was very much like egging Zero Fuku on and looking to teach Zero Fuku the way and like build a connection with Zero Fuku, right? Poseidon is just going to be looking to slaughter Zero Fuku. So I don't think Zero Fuku is the issue here. Right? I don't think that is the case. I think, like everyone is saying in chat, I agree where I think Heijun is the main issue. Because again, yeah, Zero Fuku's going to have a hard time getting close to Poseidon. Poseidon is all about speed, all about throwing multiple stabs as quick as possible, throwing the long underwater flood and torrent of torrential downpour of stabs towards his opponents. So I think overall, being able to kill Zero Fuku is easy for Poseidon. And again, I don't think I think even though Poseidon's looking down on Zerofuku would fuel Zerofuku's fire, I think Poseidon looking down on Zerofuku just means that Poseidon would finish the fight faster, right? Because again, while Buddha was fucking with Zerofuku and trying to get Zerofuku to see the light, Poseidon doesn't give a fuck and is just going to end the fight as quickly as possible. And then going up against Heijun, apparently he is the most powerful demon in existence and almost defeated Buddha. His strength was so enormous that his own body could not contain the immense power, breaking down and killing him in the process. But this is false, right? We know later that Heijun is actually one of the primordial gods, and he just died, I believe, it probably was it's not directly stated, but it's I'm assuming that he's one of the primordial gods that was killed in the very first Ragnarok, right? Where they say, oh, I thought it was said that all of those stronger gods, they died because they couldn't contain their power, and it was like, no, this isn't the case. The primordial, it was the primordial gods, they actually died in Ragnarok. So while I don't know if that specifically pertains to Heijun, because Heijun does claim that he remembers randomly his power broke down, but that could just be a fake memory, that could just be what he's told. Either way, he considers Zerofuku a third-rate god, and Heijun is insanely much more powerful than Buddha and almost defeats Buddha. The thing is, though, I guess the question is, I guess the question would be, who is stronger? Do you think, who do you think is stronger between Buddha and Poseidon? Heijun was hanging with Buddha, Poseidon not like that. Imagine Poseidon disliking Heijun because of his origins. Quite possible. Now, technically speaking, Heijun may have the power to destroy Poseidon's trident, in which case, if Heijun does do that, then Poseidon's probably cooked, right? Due to adaptability, I'd probably say Buddha wins. Buddha's probably got that. Didn't Poseidon have like a page of just stabs? I think he's got multiple pages of just stabs. Wouldn't Poseidon just go all out the moment Heijun appears, or at least declared his name and title? Possibly, but yeah, because Poseidon would probably be aware of Heijun and be like, oh shit, I gotta take this guy out. But again, it just depends on how much durability Heijun is. Like, if Heijun is able to withstand the attacks of Poseidon and then do a blaze of glory and destroy the Poseidon's trident, Heijun could win this. And then also, you know what, Heijun's just able to make, you know, a sword arm like he does against Buddha if he gets wounded or loses limbs. It really just depends who you think is stronger at that point. Do you think Heijun is stronger because he's technically a primordial god, or do you think Poseidon would still overpower and be able to overwhelm Heijun? For the god of the sea, his bag has no depth. Stab merchant ain't beating no one. Damn. Zerofuku can create large AoE attacks, which would give Poseidon a bit of trouble, but Heijun's attacks are close range, and Heijun would have an even harder time hitting Poseidon than Zerofuku. The thing is with Heijun is I think Heijun might just be able to endure the stabs and just fight through it to get right to Poseidon. But again, it just depends on where you think, where you put their stats at. So let's throw it to a poll, because I can't really, this one is tough. I can't really decide. No, most characters didn't know about Heijun. Only characters like Hades and Beelzebub knew about him. I mean, it just depends. Like, we'll see. Poseidon was the #2 god in Valhalla, right? So he was pretty important. He was able to destroy half of Helheim, which is fucking insane. Kind of depends on what Poseidon does after Heijun appears, I guess. 40-day flood is pretty strong, but I don't know if Heijin doesn't just use it as an excuse to make more sword limbs. Hermes didn't know, bro. That should tell you. Huh, fair. Considering one stab didn't even kill Sasaki, I don't think Poseidon's AP is enough. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think Poseidon might not be able to kill Heijin, even if Heijin does get caught and doesn't dodge the 40-day flood. Like, Heijin might be able to just tank and just push through and break the trident. And then at that point, Poseidon's cooked. But again, I'm defaulting to the poll because this is a tough one. This is actually, again, this is a little bit Zero Fuku, not much of an issue in this fight at all. Like Zero Fuku, I wouldn't even consider a factor. Like you could definitely make arguments as to why Zero Fuku might not get fucking low diffed by Poseidon, but I still think Poseidon would beat Zero Fuku. I think Heijin is the bigger issue, without a doubt. For the god of the sea, the bro has no water attacks, and if you know the myths, he can also cause earthquakes, yet all he does is thrust attacks. Yeah, even like Hades, like I've heard people complain, like Hades should have at least had like the helmet of invisibility or something that went with the mythology lore a little bit more. Zero gets torso erased at that one stab that grazed Sasaki. Fair. Oh, we kind of have a close poll here. 55 to 45 in Poseidon's range. 22 votes, actually. All right, 45 seconds, guys, and I'm closing the polls. Get your votes in. Poseidon's winning so far. 23 votes, 57% going for Poseidon. Round 6 Glazers lock in. Yeah, there's not enough of you guys. You know what? Round 6 was my least favorite fight until I read Leonidas versus Apollo. Most of the Ragnarok gods have pretty low myth representation outside of attack names. No, I definitely agree. I don't think necessarily everything. I just think that sometimes there's way more things that could be pulled into the character from mythology. I'm not necessarily complaining whatsoever. I just think sometimes, you know, sometimes, you know what? Maybe instead of being a stab merchant, maybe we could do something different. But hey, I'm not complaining. I love, like I said, I love this series. I think all the character designs and everything is cool. Yeah, I'm fine with Record of Ragnarok doing their own things, just like what Fate does. Fair enough. Wish he got his death laser, though. Ha. I think the mangaka didn't want to give the gods their actual power since it's against humans. They kind of got to give them a little bit of leeway, right? All right, I extended the poll a little bit just because of how close we are. 20 seconds, guys. 20 seconds at the top of the minute. 26 votes, guys. 54% to 46%. This actually could turn around with 2 votes or something like that, guys. Get it in. This could turn around, but it doesn't look like it. 10, 8, 7. I skipped 9, 5. All right, looks like the polls are closed, baby. Poseidon takes the W. Poseidon indeed takes the W, but I think this is another one where it really could go either way. I wouldn't get mad at you whatever way you felt that fight went. That was actually another decently close one. When it came to Heijin, not Zero Fuku. All right, guys, we got the last 2 fucking fights. And it is actually 2 humans and 2 gods. Let's see what happens. We've got Sasaki Kojiro, Apollo, Qin Shi Huang, and Buddha as the 2 final potential fucking fights. Let's see. Our participants are... Jack was one of the first to go, Nudie. We've got Apollo. Honestly, Apollo deserved a better fight. Apollo deserved a much better fight. Apollo was fucking dancing circles around this motherfucker. Leonidas was getting cooked. Apollo sweep. Yeah, Apollo just beats everybody. I think with the potential matchups, I think the best case scenario here I would love to see. Actually, I think Apollo's got a. Actually, I think every single opponent here is actually a good matchup for Apollo. Qin Shi Huang with the Heavenly Hand of Defense against Apollo. Fucking Sasaki Kojiro and his mental training. You've got Buddha and, you know, the eighth consciousness. This is a fight to make up for Leonidas. Who's gonna be Apollo's fucking winner? Or Apollo's opponent? Wow, that's what I wanted. Qin Shi Huang, the king where it all began. This is actually a close fight as well. You've got two fucking hand-to-hand merchants. This one seems like it's going to be divisive. You've got two hand merchants. This one is tough. Imagine if this fight actually happened. It would be great. I skipped Leo's fight. Damn. What are Apollo's hacks, if any? So Apollo is definitely a GOAT when it comes to just battling. So Apollo has string manipulation. Yes, he basically has the powers of Athena. That's his divine weapon, where he's able to manipulate strings to make different weapons with the strings and do other things. Also lay different strings out and like manipulate his opponent to make them move out of the way or dodge things, stuff like that. Primarily, Apollo turns the strings into gauntlets that basically act as, you know, divine gauntlets, and Apollo is a boxer by nature, but he's kind of like sting like float like a butterfly, sting like a bee kind of boxer, where like he's bobbing, he's weaving, he's quick on his feet, he's, you know, he's hopping on the 2 feet and he's fucking throwing jabs, and he's basically overwhelming King Leonidas in their entire fight, to the point that the entire audience is like, hey, Apollo is, you know, dog walking this guy live in 4K in front of everybody. It's kind of embarrassing that Apollo's going that hard on a human like this. So Apollo literally makes a force field that makes the fight only take place in close quarters, so that way Apollo, Leonidas would have a better chance of fighting. So Apollo, when it comes to physical combat, I'm holding off on the light speeds. I'm holding off on the arrow and the light arrows later, because those are definitely a big important part of this fight. So Apollo being a boxer means that going up against someone like Qin Shi Huang, who relies on basically using his opponent's force and rediverting that force into his own attacks, Qin Shi Huang is definitely going to be hand-to-hand experienced enough to fight back against Apollo. The problem is that if Apollo is able to throw fists faster than Qin Shi Huang is able to divert the force and redirect the attack, Apollo might be able to get hits on Qin Shi Huang. Now, the difference is that Qin Shi Huang has the advantage in one, he has his ability to see chi, and he has the ability to fucking use his air bubbles to attack those chi particles and get critical hits on Apollo. Which means Qin Shi Huang is going to be a much better fucking opponent when it comes to hand-to-hand than King Leonidas ever was. So every air bubble that Qin Shi Huang hits Apollo with is going to lower Apollo's attack power, lower Apollo's durability, lower his stats significantly in that one area. So if Qin Shi Huang hits him with an air bubble in the arm, if he hits him with an air bubble in the strings, that while the divine weapon itself might not be able to be affected, he can still lower all of Apollo's stats to where Qin Shi Huang can have the advantage. Apollo is definitely faster than Hades, in my opinion, when it comes to Apollo boxing. Hades relied way more on just the force of his strikes, so it makes me believe that Hades putting more effort into how hard he would swing and how hard he would attack, whereas Apollo is, again, much more like a Muhammad Ali, quick-natured boxer. I think Apollo is probably much quicker up close. I don't know if they would hit up close depending on how fast Apollo is boxing. So yeah, I think while the air bubbles aren't an instant win con or an instant turnaround for him either. I think Kin would have to be quick with how he played it. He would have to be very smart with how he played the fight. I don't think Apollo would be as easy to hit with the air bubbles as Hades was. Not saying Hades was easy to go into the air bubble. Remember, they're also invisible. You don't know when they're coming, and you don't know when they're where they're coming from. So it's also tough for Apollo to dodge or interact with them when Kinshi mixes them into the combos. Thank you for the 5 gifted members, China. Appreciate the love as always. So far, these characters are very even when it comes to it neck and neck. Now, we do know that Qin Shi Huang has the ability to create, the very powerful sword that he's able to flow into it. And there was also the arrow type of the of his Volin that he didn't even use. So Qin Shi Huang might even have long range attacks. However, where I think Apollo comes in at is Apollo has his bow and arrow that make him a very huge threat and very tough to fucking deal with, especially for Qin Shi Huang, who's much more of a physical fighter. Also, one thing that's also important to mention is because of how epic this fight will be and how close these fights are, Apollo actually does get stronger the more his audience cheers for him and the more his audience expects of him, which I didn't even realize that was an actual thing. But yeah, the sun shall never set on me is a literal actual battle mode that Apollo has, where the more, which like we said, we're all hyping up this fight, we're all making this fight out, that Apollo is actually getting stat boosts as the fight is going on. And again, Apollo has that string manipulation, so even if Qin Shi Huang sets up for Heavenly Hand of defense, Apollo can use his string to offset Qin Shi Huang's Heavenly Hand and make him miss the counter. But again, the most important fucking thing is Artemis's golden arrows of light, which means Artemis is literally able to just fucking draw arrows of sunlight, and that actually literally once they're fucking thrown, they literally move at the speed of light, and it's almost like instant, where the moment that the moment that Apollo's fingers leave the bow is literally already through Qin Shi Huang's heart and stuff like that. So well, I think, like, if you want to say that, like, the final arrow that Apollo uses, where Apollo uses himself as the arrow, as the silver arrow that throws for the final attack that he does against Leonidas, sure, Qin Shi Huang could most likely Heavenly Hand of Defense, especially with that final Heavenly Hand of Defense, where he combines with his Volin for, like, that perfect, improvised version with his sword. The arrows of light specifically are not going to be good for Qin Shi Huang to dodge. And also, you have to remember, if at any point Qin Shi Huang loses his blindfold during the fight, Qin Shi Huang is sharing pain with Apollo. So any damage that Qin Shi Huang does to Apollo while Qin Shi Huang has his eyes out is going to reflect on Qin Shi Huang. This is one of those fights where the rest of the fight is really close until their ultimate, which would still be a badass ending to a fight like this. Yeah, I think this is actually a much better fight than King Leonidas gives by far. However, I think once Apollo gets his arrow out, which I definitely will come to that, right? Because Qin Shi Huang, with the Heavenly Hand of Defense, all his different forms of attack and fighting style, and again, Qin Shi Huang's just air bubbles and everything he can do, I 110% believe that this would be a much more reasonable fight for Apollo to have, that would cause Apollo to use his light arrows. And yes, Apollo can fire more than one arrow. He can literally fire huge barrages of light arrows all at once. He does it against Leonidas, where he fires multiple arrows. So yeah, I just, again, where I think, ironically, Apollo's ultimate desperation move, where he uses himself as the arrow, is probably more viable for Kin to counter than the regular arrows of light. The arrows of light are probably pretty much the bane of Kin's existence that King really doesn't have an answer for. Just does not have an answer for. Do you think Apollo would have respected Kin at the end if Apollo won? By far, 110%. 110%. I think Apollo would have had an even better reason to enjoy the fight with Kin than he would have against King Leonidas. King Leonidas was a bum, bro. That's just how it goes. He was just a big fucking bum. He really fucking was. But yeah, I think really good fight. I think Kin holds up very well up until the light arrows, where he just doesn't really have a good answer for that, unfortunately. But we'll throw it to a poll. They'll keep hating until Leo pull up and ask you to hit 20 push-ups. Listen, I'm not saying I personally would swing on Leo and come out alive. I'm just saying negative aura, bro. The moment they gave my man the man bun, it was over. Yeah, I think Apollo's got this one. I think while Apollo wins, this is actually a pretty mid-diff fight. I would honestly prefer to see this fight. This would be such a cool fight. If Apollo doesn't pull out the bow, then he can't win. Yeah, again, I agree. I think when it comes down to just overall actual combat, they're pretty neck and neck. And I think Heavenly Handed Defense and Qin Shi Huang's air bubbles give him a pretty decent advantage against just the bare knuckle boxing segment of the battle, for sure. Again, it's just the arrows. Ares could probably take Leonidas extreme diff. Damn, said Ares could take him. My boy said Ares could take him. Apollo still got hands and he could get stronger over the fight. It's weirdly close. That's what I mean. Like, the fact that Apollo is getting stronger based off of the audience's cheers and like them expecting more from him and thinking that he's the shit, means that even like the fact that Qin Shi Huang is going to be putting up a really good fight against Apollo is just going to be buffing Apollo more and more. It's just like the fact that Qin Shi Huang is putting up a good fight is just going to get Apollo even better. Ares literally just exists to get clip chimped. On God, I could be cannon fodder and I'm still swinging on Leo. Damn, that's crazy. All right. All right, we got 30 seconds left on the clock here, but it looks like Apollo's coming in as the big winner here. If Apollo plays to his strengths, staying at range, he wins for sure. 30 seconds left. Let's get these Apollo votes in. Looks like he's got the advantage here, which I completely wholeheartedly agree with. So basically, Leo was the best and worst match. Yeah, honestly, Leo, that was Brunhild's plan. Leo being so underwhelming was to actually nerf Apollo and nerf his sun shining on me battle mode buff. That's crazy. Now we're getting into the mind of Brunhild here. I see what it was all about. I see the fucking Much forget it. Trust the process. I'm sorry. I see the fucking, what is it called? What's the phrase I'm thinking of? I'm like fucking drawing a blank. My mind is getting blown right now. I see the vision. My God, I almost just had a stroke. What was that about? I see the vision. Thank you, Nehemiah. What the fuck was that about? I just got fucking unlimited voided by Gojo for a minute there. I just realized Apollo versus Zero would be interesting because their abilities are the exact opposite. That's such a good note to have, Space. I never even thought about that. All right, last 5 seconds, but it looks like, yeah, Apollo's got this in the bag. Have I ever read Bibliomania? I have not. I don't even know what that is. All right. Welp, we don't even need to spin for the final matchup. And it's actually very funny that this is how it turned out, because I was wondering if this is what we were going to get, because these two characters are, their powers are so close. However, it's kind of obvious who wins just based off of the very fact that one of their powers is clearly the superior one. So it's kind of like unfair, even though I think they're both chill guys. We've got Sasaki Kojiro versus fucking Buddha. That fight would have so much respect in it. So true. These guys would be best fucking friends by the end of this, right? They would probably be like, you know what? Let's not kill each other. Let's go hang out. Let's go hit the Benjamin. You know what I mean? Let's go hit the Benjamin after this, right? Let's go smoke a bowl together. Fuck this Ragnarok noise. Let's go get high. You know what I mean? Like, that's what these guys are doing here. They're not fighting. Let's be honest. The last thing these guys are doing. The dream rotation, true. This ain't Blue Lock. He ain't catching up to Buddha's vision. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to. Buddha stops the fight mid-match. Kinda, yeah, honestly. The thing is, and why I think Buddha would probably win, obviously Buddha's got all of the different realms that are dependent on his emotions and everything like that, so it's not like Buddha can get the weapon that he wants out of, you know, the turnabout 6 realms divine weapon that he has. The big thing that does give Buddha the fucking advantage, though, outside of the 6 realm staff, is going to be his fucking 8 consciousness. Which literally is just a divine ability that after having enlightenment, it allows Buddha to see a moment into the future by reading the fluctuations of his opponent's soul and the radiance of their light. Whereas, you know, Sasaki Kojiro, the humanity's greatest loser, uses his 1,000 image defense, which allows him to memorize and analyze his opponent's moves to form a simulation of them inside of his mind until he can find a way to defeat them. So the issue is, while Sasaki is going to be constantly imagining and mentally training himself to memorize Buddha's attack patterns and come up with the best possible way to counter Buddha, the worst part is it's almost Sasaki's fight against Buddha is almost going to be like the very first part of Sasaki vs. Poseidon. Remember when Sasaki was like, damn, no matter how many different ways I attack you, I've died 1,000 times already, blah 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 blah. That's exactly what would happen against Buddha, except for the entire fight, because no matter how much Sasaki plans ahead, image trains, and mentally prepares for the fight, the fact that Buddha will always be one step ahead of Sasaki by reading his soul means that even if Sasaki goes, okay, I predicted that Buddha's gonna go this way, left, Buddha is just gonna be one step ahead and just go right. So no matter how much Sasaki prepares for it, and even if Sasaki tries to account for Buddha's future sight and tries to, you know, catch Buddha off guard, unless Sasaki is able to actually trick Buddha's future sight and trick the 8th consciousness, Buddha is always going to be one step ahead. This is the fight of constant counters, but the thing that gives Buddha the advantage is Sasaki can't predict what weapon Buddha would use, while Buddha always knows what Sasaki is going to do. That's kind of really what it comes down to. So, like, while I think this would be genuinely a decent fight, because Sasaki is no pushover, Sasaki is a really fucking amazing warrior. The fact he was able to beat Poseidon, master every single opponent he ever had, you know, went up against, and even to the point where he was able to mentally train himself to be stronger than he was in his final moments of death and surpass Musashi and gain, like, the double sword attack and the double mental, like, it's just... It's unfortunate because Buddha is just, again, with the pure enlightenment 8th consciousness, he's just always going to be one step ahead. Buddha has all of the acrobatics, all of the physicality, and all of the combat ability to match Sasaki Kojiro. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sasaki's abilities are going to be OP. But even if Buddha gets the shield, if he gets the small dagger, if he gets the club, if he gets, you know, the axe, the scythe, whatever Buddha really gets is going to be fucking fine, because Buddha is going to be able to keep up with Sasaki, again, just being one step ahead. And even if we do give, even if we do take away the 6 realm staff and give Buddha the divine weapon that he gets after beating Zerofuku, the misery cleaver and everything like that, he was able to kill, I think he's able to use that to, like, kill Heijin? I might be wrong. Yeah, with the Great Nirvana Sword. 0. Yeah. So I think Buddha's got this in the bag. Oh, the music stopped. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I didn't realize. Sasaki's got it. Okay, we got someone stepping in to fight for Sasaki. Buddha beats most of the characters in the verse. Do you think there'll be a point that Sasaki's ability would ever allow him to overwhelm Buddha? I just don't think so, based on the very nature of the way that Buddha's... It's not like Buddha has, like, precognition, right, or anything. Like, Buddha literally sees the future by reading the fluctuations of Sasaki's soul. Whereas, like, Sasaki's, like, mental training, Sasaki is basically fighting on the mental plane and learning and basically adapting and then responding to that. So Buddha, again, just has, like, the future advantage. I don't even know how to explain it other than that. Like, I just don't think, like, just based off the way that their sights work, like, Sasaki is attempting to predict with almost near perfect accuracy. That's why Poseidon kind of gets the advantage over Sasaki every single time Poseidon starts to move his trident and starts attacking in a completely different way, and why the battle is framed like Sasaki keeps getting further and further downwards and going closer and closer to the bottom of a deep, dark trench. Sasaki has to keep predicting and keeping up with and downloading Poseidon's movesets. Whereas Buddha, even if Sasaki downloads Buddha's moveset, Buddha can just be like, okay, Sasaki is going to adapt to my moveset here. I'm going to do this instead. It's literally like this is just the equivalent of no you, and Buddha's no you is just better. Unless Buddha's ability can be tricked by calming yourself or acting randomly, I can't defend my father of the sword. Yeah, that's really what it comes down to, which I just don't think it can. I don't think that's the case. We will put it into a poll. What up, JG? But personally, I gotta give it to Buddha. Imagine if this fight became a fist fight at the very end. Damn, now that would be wild. But again, yeah, I just think Buddha's special ability just outplays Kojiro's special ability, which just kind of ruins it. It really just kind of ruins it. And look at that. We've got 13, only 30 points, but Buddha's coming in 85%. Unless Sasaki can force his soul to do something different, his intentions, which there's no precedent for that, he has no chance. Yeah, unless like Sasaki is able to be like, okay, Buddha is going to read my soul. So maybe if I'm able to dupe him and make him think my soul's going to do something different, but I completely respond in a different way. That is realistically the only chance that Sasaki has. And again, the issue with that is if even if Sasaki does try to take that into account and switch up, Buddha is just going to, again, future sight see that. Like Kojiro's sight is like 99%, Buddha's is 100. That's what it comes down to. Buddha's has that extra 1% that always gives him the advantage. Buddha got the drip, so he wins by default. That's another good way to look at it. That's another good way to look at it, indeed, Tenro. I didn't think about it that way. 20 seconds left on the poll. Come on, guys, get your votes in. 20 seconds left on the poll. It's looking like Buddha, so Kojiro stands, come in here. You guys better step in. It's interesting to look at because Sasaki does have a strong ability in compartmentalizing and just mental wild image training like he's Baki. It is peak. Sasaki Kojiro is a peak candidate. I think he would do great against a lot of any other god, but Buddha is just the bane of his existence, unfortunately. Would be a fun fight to see though, for sure. But yep, looks like that's gonna be the end of the polls. Buddha's gonna call it in with the win here. And guys, that is the record of Ragnarok What If randomizer tournament. I will say, I think the matchups would end up being a little bit more fair if we tried this again, with, again, just keeping humans on the human team and the gods on the gods team. And just seeing what humans and what gods might be interesting battles, just because I think what ended up happening is a lot of the battles just ended up being easy low diffs, because honestly, not for nothing, a lot of these characters ended up getting their perfect fucking counter. Like, of course Raiden gets Beelzebub, of course fucking Sasaki gets Buddha, of all fucking things. Like, it actually genuinely is just insane, like the kind of matchups that showed up here. But we weren't really keeping score for anybody because it was just an all-out brawl. So maybe next time, you know, that might make all the fucking difference in figuring out if the humanity versus gods wins. There were some close fights, though. Yeah, the last couple of fights were close as hell. Close as hell. What are my predictions for this current fight? So Simo and Loki, it's tough to say. While I do see a lot of arguments that can be made for why Loki should just win, I mean, again, Loki is a character that we've had since the very beginning of the series. I do honestly see a lot of good reasons for Simo to also win. Simo is, in my opinion, I know a lot of people downplay Simo and think that Loki just has plot armor and Loki is just guaranteed to win. I think that's what might be Loki's worst nightmare, is that Simo is the perfect candidate to go up against Loki. Loki is a trickster, he's a deceiver, he's always going to do whatever he can to try and get the mental advantage upper hand and try to beat Simo underhandedly. Whereas Simo is a much more serious, no-nonsense sniper. He's gonna see a target, he's gonna take it out. So it really could go either way. I think, again, considering that Brunhild needs this fight to happen, and at least she wants it to happen, so that way they have a chance of fighting Odin. I do think it is possible. A lot of people just think that we need to get to 13 matches. We need to get to 13 fights. We need to have all 13 fights. So obviously, Loki would win. However, I think, again, I said it on the last stream that we did, Record of Ragnarok, I think the gag that could be set up of Anubis continually getting snubbed for a fight, and the fact that Rasputin's character design hasn't been revealed yet, it's potentially possible that Anubis might not fight, and Loki will lose, and then Odin will come in, and Odin will lose, and then humanity will win, and there is no 13th battle. But again, that would be tough. I know a lot of fans would revolt if we don't see Rasputin fight and we don't get a full 13 battles. But another thing that also comes to my attention is you have the spin-off manga that's taking place that is all of the gods fighting to take the last spot, the last spot, in the tournament. And everyone's like, how are they going to finish the spin-off sequel before the main series? Then the winner of the spin-off sequel is just going to be revealed before the spin-off sequel is finished. And it's like, well, if there is no 13th battle and they never need that extra combatant, it's quite possible, not for nothing, you just, it's quite possible it might just never get to that point, and then that spin-off series can go on with the winner of that battle of the spin-off series never getting revealed before the spin-off series ends. I'm getting tongue-tied here. Oh my god. But yeah, there's a lot of reasons that I could see of Loki losing. But also, if Loki wins, I won't be disappointed. It could go either way. There's a chance Record of Ragnarok's fights just get longer for the spin-off to catch up. I hope not. I'm probably not going to read monthly now that I'm caught up. I'll probably let chapters build up and then come back to it. Just because I very, very much enjoyed being able to binge the fights. Plot twist: Loki was disguised as Simo's dog from the beginning. Now that would be a plot twist. But like I said, the one thing I would be very the one thing I enjoyed was being able to binge. If I had to read something like Leonidas versus Apollo monthly, I probably would have dropped it. Same thing when I dropped it during Zerofuku versus Buddha. I just don't think, personally for me, it's not a monthly read through. I need to, monthly can be painful for this series. Exactly. I very much prefer, I'm probably going to hold off on like a year of Record of Ragnarok and let everything build up. Maybe once Loki and Simo finishes, I'll read everything. But that's just me. But that being said, guys, we're coming up on 2 hours and 10 minutes. This was a very, very fun stream. I enjoyed a lot of the matchups that showed up, and I'm glad that all of you guys did too. I'm glad that the polls were able to just really tell and really show how much aura was behind certain characters and how much people run and gun for the people they love. But thank you all so much for stopping by. I genuinely do appreciate you. Who's my favorite of Yggdrasil right now? You mean the Norse? You mean the Norse gods? Odin seems really cool. Thor seems really cool too. Loki just has the most character in my honest opinion, but based off of aura, probably Thor. Odin's a cool villain, and Odin seems pretty strong, but oh, the 4 primordial? Oh, Satan always. Satan's dope. I'd love to see you rank Undead Unluck. Hey, maybe I should read Undead Unluck. But we'll have to see. Now that I have open, I just read all of the Black Clover chapters, and now I'm fully caught up to Black Clover again. What an interesting way to end the series. What an interesting final arc. Good lord. But that's neither here nor there. Let me not get into that. Guys, thank you all so much for watching the stream. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button if you haven't already. It really means the most to me and helps the channel way more than you know. I am sending you all of the kinds of spirit energy that I possibly can. and I'm hoping that you not only have a great night, morning, afternoon, whatever time zone you're in. I hope you have a good rest of your fucking week, because it's goddamn Monday and we got plenty of fucking shit to deal with for the rest of the week, guys. Would love to see some Tower of God content if you're willing to. I started reading Tower of God and then I fell off. Maybe I'll have to pick it back up. Hey, and the buzzer beater gifted members from China. Big W indeed, girl. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate the love as always. Thank you so much for stopping by. I always appreciate you stopping by on streams, that especially when you don't watch the series or whatever. I just appreciate you being here to show support. So thank you so much, really genuinely. I'll probably do a members poll, but I'm thinking since everyone loved it last week, maybe for this Wednesday for the members stream, we just do another Phantom Parade stream. But I'm open to suggestions. If you guys want Tokyo Ghoul read through, we'll just do that. But maybe I'll hold a poll for Discord. I'll see what you guys want to do. But anyway, y'all, thank you so much again for stopping by. I genuinely appreciate you, and I will see you guys in the next stream. Peace.